Hi, Dean Jenkins with FollowMeTrades.com, and this is the market update for the week coming up of August 5th, 2019. So I am showing the chart for the S&P 500. I think the S&P 500 is the most important index to follow, but we'll look at a couple others as well. So no surprise if you're following the markets that the last couple days of last week we had a pretty sharp decline in the market after the Fed announced just one rate cut and no roadmap for the future. And then the following day, the administration announced increased tariffs on China goods going into effect at the beginning of September. And so that has the potential to impact a couple sectors. We're going to take a look at that. But we got a pullback, and is it going to develop into something bigger or not? Here's a few things to watch for. The S&P 500 sitting right at the 50-day moving average. Now, if it breaks through it, we could get another pullback like we had in late spring, or even something like we saw at the end of last year, something bigger. But let's see if it breaks through and continues. So we got to watch that really, really closely. The other indexes look very similar. Here's the NASDAQ. We use the QQQ as a good chart for this. Same thing, sitting at the 50 and just waiting. The Dow is the same. The Russell has a whole different pattern, and there may be something there as well. But these are key charts here. Let's watch for continued weakness and then shorting opportunities on the indexes. Pretty interesting. Let's look at a quick sector analysis. Here's a sector tracker from SPDR, and this is showing a 5-day view. And of course, the weakest here is consumer discretionary. Pretty big pullback, in basically consumer retail, and that's due to the perceived problems that the China tariffs will cause for back to school and holiday shopping. Of course, a lot of consumer goods come from China, and increased tariffs may cut into sales. So that's a sector that I'm really interested in if we get some follow through in the market pullback, and we'll be watching that. So look for breaks through this 50-day moving average sitting here on the QQQs and the S&P 500. Those are, that represents a huge part of the market, and we'll see if it's just a pullback to resistance and then, everybody shakes it off and moves on, or some follow through. And I think the probability leans, greater than 50% toward a follow through, toward a downturn in the market. And of course, the market goes down faster than it goes up, and there could be some great trading opportunities there. It's going to be a light week for news. Let me bring up this screen here. It shows the kind of the big picture looking at the market right now. So we got the pullback on the S&P 500, other indexes. The question is this the big one? We'll find out. We had the tariff increase on China, continuing the trade war, and the sector opportunity, I think, is in consumer discretionary primarily. And what about Iran? That still is not resolved. I saw some headlines today. They've taken another tanker. That could escalate as well. Of course, the Fed raised rates once for now, and the market had, I think, expected more, and they didn't. They did not provide a roadmap for more. So that's kind of behind us. The coming week, we're still in the throes of Q2 earnings. We're kind of past the midpoint, but still a lot of companies reporting. No big planned announcements on the economic calendar, so breaking news will definitely dominate. And so I'm going to be watching this 50-day moving average really, really closely. I think that's going to be the key on the major indexes, and see if we break through that and have a bigger down move coming. If it finds support, reverses, and heads up, we could channel, and that would be kind of a bummer. I'm actually hoping it breaks through and we get some big trading opportunities to the downside, at least for the short term. So that's where we stand. As always, I welcome your questions, your comments, your feedback. All right, thanks.